So I'm going to show you what I do with all these offcuts. These were all branches that we cut off from these junipers, but nothing is ever wasted. So from this I will get about 10 or 20 cuttings. Let me show you how I do the cuttings and how I decide what material to use. Now this is a typical branch that has been cut off. So the ideal cutting is what we call matchstick thick, like this, and about 2 to 3, 4 inches long. Take the top out, but I clean the bottom and then I clean the heel. So that's what you do. You rip it off the trunk. That's what creates the heel, and you clean the bottom and then tidy the heel up. Even this is not too small. This is only like 2 inches, so they are okay. Now you often get a situation where you are faced with, say, this, for instance. I pulled off a lot of cuttings here. Now what do I do with this? A lot of people are very greedy. You can try, but I think the chances of success are not that great. That is literally like a heel cutting. You can clean the heel and stick them in. If you had a propagator with mist and underground heat, that would probably root very easily. But if you don't use heat, thickness like this, which is like pencil thick, is going to reduce the chances of success. The ideal cutting is what we call matchstick thick, not as thick as this. I can try, but I know that it won't be successful. Like this also. A lot of people say, oh, if I use a thick branch as a cutting, I'll get a much thicker plant should it root. But the chances of rooting are much reduced. So I can try that, but I don't think it'll do it. What about using a nodal cutting rather than a heel? A nodal cutting is where you simply cut the branch off there underneath the shoot, but by pulling it, I've more or less made like a heel cutting with that. So I can use that as a nodal cutting. But this sort of situation where you get these thick branches, see, I got a situation there, 3 big possible cuttings. So I can rip it off there, that becomes a heel. I don't want it that long because the more foliage is on the branch, the more transpiration. So that's not too thick, that's thinner than a biro or a pencil. So this is possible, but the ideal size cutting, even that is verging on the large size. Clean the heel, clean that, because we're going to insert that much into the soil. So these are the prepared cuttings I've made, and simply sticking into the tray, which I will show you in a minute, and that is how you do the cuttings. So I've prepared 2 trays here, but this is not the medium I'm going to use. This is chopped up bark, pine bark, and this is what we call the garden compost. Very nice garden compost. I don't know what it's made from, probably rotted leaves or whatever. And then I can mix some sand with it or grit with it. There's so many different ways of doing it. You don't have to use grit. The main thing is making sure that you have good drainage. And I fill the tray as much as possible to the top, because the deeper the tray, the more surface area of contact you have, and the more heat it generates. So that is conducive to making the cutting. And then I will just mix it up together. For good measure, I will put some grit in. They say you don't have to, but you can. This is Japanese grit. I leave the bottom layer of the chopped bark at the bottom because that provides very good drainage. I don't compress the soil too much. I will almost keep it level to the top. And then I will bring the cuttings. Stay there. I will bring the cuttings and home in on the soil. So here's my hormone rooting powder, and these are the cuttings prepared. You can wet it if you like. You don't have to. A lot of people ask me, what is the brand of hormone rooting powder? Any good proprietary mix is going to work. So you don't have to worry about the brand. So that is the hormone rooting powder. Let me try some of these thick ones. It's again an experiment. Whether it works or not, I'm not sure. And I usually put it in at a slant, because if you put it in at a slant, you get more surface area for contact. If you put it straight, the area of contact is less. But whereas you put it at slant, you get more contact. So these are the tall ones that I've made. You can put it very closely together. I don't do it in methodical fashion. Wherever there's a space, I just plonk it in, because it's getting contact. This is a long one. I don't normally use these long ones, because as I mentioned to you, I don't like using these very thick cuttings, but I'm doing it an experiment. These are the ideal size. Thick as a matchstick, or some people call it a toothpick, and then just insert it into the soil. The use of hormone rooting powder is not obligatory. If you use it, the chances of success are enhanced. But junipers are so easy to root that they will root even without. So why am I using it? Because I want to guarantee success. So that's how you make the cutting. That's a long one. Chances of success are not that great, but nevertheless, it's an experiment I do. However old I am, I continue to experiment. There's never, an excuse for experimenting, even when you're late in life. So I've always got something new to learn. So if it works, well and good. So that's how I do it. Fill the tray and then I water it. You can cover it with a plastic bag if you wish. That will keep the moisture in. If you have a propagator, so much the better. And if you're sophisticated enough to have mist propagation, read about it. Mist propagation is the commercial way of doing it, where they spray the cuttings every couple of minutes, and I believe that in a couple of weeks they should root. But if you don't have that, not the end of the world. So that's how you make the cuttings. So I hope you learned from it. These were made from cuttings about 3 or 4 years ago. So there you are, you get a big plant very easily.